Hey everyone, welcome to another chapter discussion this week. Today we'll be discussing chapter 937, Gyukimaru of Bandit Bridge. First off, let's talk about the colour spread. Fantastic colour spread from Oda, as usual. I think we all can appreciate things like that. Anyway, let's get to the chapter. Alright, we cross over to Big Mom and Toko-chan, talking about the Shiroko, or the mochi, that Toko-chan's producing. Big Mom has fallen in love with it, she wants more. Chopper is clearly concerned about whether or not if Big Mom has the Shiroko, she gets her memory back. This might cause problems for Luffy. I doubt that very much, because obviously, as we kind of skip forward in the chapter, we see that Queen apparently is a big fan of Shiroko as well. So clearly Big Mom's going to be satiated and Queen's not going to have a good time with a hungry Big Mom. Obviously this is a bit of a convenience, the fact that apparently Queen loves Shiroko, but I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not going to fuss about it too much. Other people have a bit more of an issue with it. No, I didn't, but it is what it is. Now we cut to the prison. Luffy has defeated the Pleasures. Yeah, big shock right there. Good grief. And what's really interesting, as I really did feel this was kind of the meat of the chapter here, was that Luffy's trying to perform the same technique that Rayleigh did to the elephant back on Roscino when, Rayleigh was showing Armin Haki to Luffy. Now, my good mate Hidden Haki back over on the Discord pointed this out to me, and I'll bring the panel up here, even from my own reference point here. Now, if you look at the panel, you can see, obviously, Rayleigh smacking the elephant with his Armin Haki, but you also see Boa Marigold, obviously Boa Hancock's sister, obviously Armin Haki, to block Luffy's attack. Again, very similar. We also see, in the next panel, is Sentomaru, performing the Armin Haki attack, again, very similar to both Rayleigh and Boa Marigold. Now, I also want to show, theorize that maybe the Admirals did a very similar thing when they blocked that earthquake that Whitebeard used against them. Now, could this be hinting at Armin Haki, its higher stages? Now, again, we saw with Whole Cake Island with Katakuri, his, advanced observation Haki. Could this now be the advanced Armin Haki version? Now, I'm definitely glad about this, because I'm glad that we're seeing Oda is showing that Luffy is trying to get better in all stages of his Haki. Obviously, observation last arc, obviously Armin this arc, maybe perhaps Conqueror's Haki next arc. But we see that Luffy is leveling up and is preparing for his clash with Kaido. Again, as I said before in my chapter discussion, seeing Oda train Luffy in what little ways he can, so that way he can be prepared to take Kaido on, is what I've wanted, because my biggest fear for this arc is Luffy 1v1 in Kaido. It's my biggest fear, and I'm really glad that it looks like Oda has realized that that's not where he wants to go. He wants to make Luffy stronger. He needs to make Luffy stronger for the eventual fight he'll have with Kaido. So I'm glad about that. On a side note, to also discuss with Sentomaru, because it just popped into my head, was the fact that he does say he has the strongest guard in the world. So, Armin Haki is usually used for protection, so I'm just saying. Now we cut back over to Ringo, with a fight between Zoro and Gyukimaru. Oh boy, sometimes these names really get to me. Now, Gyukimaru is a warrior monk. It's already really cool to me. He's quickly becoming one of my favourite Wano characters, simply because he's a warrior monk. I know, I'm a sucker for that shit. Now, he mentions Wano being a golden country, so I'm not sure if that will come up in the future or not. It's weird to me. Like, I'm trying to think of a few references to Golden Country. Obviously, Skype had a lot of references to the the land of gold and that. So I don't know if there's a connection there. We do mention that a dragon comes from the sky. I don't know. I'm just trying to put some connections together. I'm not sure. I don't know if that will come up in the future. I have no idea. We'll just have to see. We also get mentions of Ryuma. Obviously, this is the character from Oda's one-shot before he did One Piece. Now, it mentions there are many legends about Ryuma. Could we possibly see these legends? I know I'd love to see more about this character. Also, apparently, he's called a sword god. Now, this is interesting. I will make an amendment for my next One Piece chapter discussion if the Viz translation translates differently, but sword god is quite a title. Now, is that more impressive as World's Strongest Swordsman or Sword God? What's more impressive? That's for the viewers to decide, I think. Also, Gyukimaru talks about Shishui grew as a black blade. Obviously, Mihawk's Yarazuya blade was a black blade. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. This is putting more of the sword legends or the sword discussion into One Piece now. I think this is very necessary, because how does a black blade come around? Is it because Armin Haki is being put into it, and if it is put into it so much, it eventually just keeps that coating permanently? Or is it a case of the more it's utilized in high-tier battles, it starts to turn into a black blade, like the material that it's made out of is affected, something like... Obviously, this needs to be answered, but this also does point to the fact that maybe Zoro won't get a new sword this arc. Maybe, Sandai Kitetsu, or Wado Ichimonji, I think I butchered that pronunciation, will turn into Black Blades this arc, or maybe, an arc down the road or something. Again, very interesting, and I'd love to understand the mythology of the swords, and hopefully Oda expands upon this, and this isn't left for too long, because I'm very curious to see how Black Blade comes around. We hear someone calling for help, and it looks like it's Komurasaki with Toko-chan. Hopefully, it is Komurasaki. It looks like her. I did some comparison pictures. I put some up. Komurasaki's alive. Thank goodness. I'm glad that's taken out really quickly, because people really think she was dead. Shocking people would think that, but here we are. Now, she's basically being chased by someone, and I was like, okay, who's chasing her? And we meet Kamazo, the Manslayer. Wow, there we go. The serial killer that was mentioned all the way back in chapter whatever the fuck. Obviously, Zoro was being accused of being the Manslayer, and obviously, now we see him. Kamazo is strikingly very similar to another character from another series, Shishio Makoto from Rurouni Kenshin. Now, obviously, Oda was an editor for Nobuhiro Watsuke back when he was doing Rurouni Kenshin, so I feel this is a little bit of an homage to that series, and Shishio is one of my favorite characters, so I definitely appreciate it. Man, those similarities are striking. Anyway, we see the fight going down. We see Kikimaru also trying to attack Zoro when he's, back's turned. He's basically saying, look, dude, if I can get you, I'm going to get you. I don't give a crap. This ain't a fair fight, man. Screw this shit. So obviously, he lives up to the warrior monk bandit motif. We also see the fact that Zoro does acknowledge that this guy is quite strong. And what I didn't realize when I actually looked back at the fight was the fact that he actually has two scythes. I didn't realize that. So I was wondering where a particular event that happens later in the chapter occurs. But again, this guy is impressive, but basically, Zoro takes a hit in the shoulder, but nah, my boy Zoro is just like, bitch, please, this is going to take me down. Gets rid of Kamazu, takes the scythe that's through shoulder, puts it into his mouth. He's kind of got his faux three swords. Again, he doesn't function well when he's not using his three swords. And, I couldn't help myself with fanboying yesterday when I saw this panel. I wish I could show it to you, but I'm really worried about Shonen Jump giving a copyright strike for this, but god damn is it a great panel. Uses Purgatory, this is again the manga stream translation, Purgatory Onigiri. Like a badass. I love this stuff. I wish I could show you guys, I really do. I know you read the chapter, but fuck me. And it's looking like it's a one-shot. Zoro seems to defeat most of his opponents in one shot, so I think most likely it is a one-shot. But we'll see whether or not Kamazu gets up in the next chapter. Anyway, though, on a sidebar here, there is one panel, and that it's Komurasaki kind of talks about three blades. Is this her remembering something? Now, a friend of mine on Discord, Blood, kind of mentions that, is it possible she's remembering whether or not Odin himself used three blades? He was a legendary swordsman who had, Whitebeard and Goldie Roger's respect, so you never know. This could be hinting at him being a three-sword style user, or Centauro user. Either way, we head to the overall, and I think this chapter is a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but that would clearly be me fanboying. To me, a 9 out of 10 is a good rating for a chapter like this. I feel like we've got a lot of confirmations, a lot of questions have been put up about the mythology of Wano, the house Black Blades are given, seeing a few other character introductions like Kamazu, him being the Manslayer and that. Either way, there's also no break next week. Hallelujah. Even though we're getting close to Golden Week, so I'm expecting a few breaks to come up. But either way, no break next week. Fantastic news. I love when that happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. Kingkiller signing out. I'll see you next week.